Wendy Williams has fired her attorney following the battle to get out of a guardianship. It's a story TMZ has been tracking all along. Let's bring in Michael Babcock, who's live from Los Angeles. Michael, a lot has been unfolding with this situation here.
Hey, Jamie, thanks for having me. You're exactly right. This woman was a court-appointed attorney that a judge said was going to represent Wendy Williams. Now, Wendy Williams is currently under a guardianship in New York City, or New York State, I should say. Essentially, it's very similar to a conservatorship in a lot of other states across the country, very similar to what Britney Spears was under. The windup is that she is, according to a judge, not able to care for herself, and she is living in an assisted living facility. Well, Wendy believes that she is fine, that she is more than capable of operating her life like an ordinary adult would, and she had asked her attorney, the woman there on the left, to file documents with the court to try and get this guardianship ended. Well, Wendy feels like that was not happening quick enough and ultimately decided, hey, I'm going to fire this woman and I will hire another attorney for myself who will hopefully get me out from under this conservatorship or guardianship.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hiring someone to do a job and they're not getting the job done, what do you expect to happen there, right?
Exactly. Especially when you're living in an assisted living facility and you have very little rights. I mean, she has no access to no technology, not any email.
Yeah.
The only thing she has is a non-smartphone phone, essentially a landline that she can make calls on. So it's rough conditions if you listen to Wendy.
All right. Well, I know you all will continue to follow that so we can get the latest on what's going on with Wendy. Hopefully she can get the help that she is looking for there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also A$AP Rocky, what's going on with his trial? What is it now, day 3?
Yeah, and Rihanna, we're told, will be back in court today. She was sitting right behind A$AP Rocky yesterday, supporting him. This is very serious. He's dealing with 2 felony assault charges, and if ultimately convicted, he faces up to 24 years in prison. He actually turned down a plea deal that would have seen him only do 180 days behind bars, and likely would have been far less, maybe 2 months or so behind bars possibly, but he felt like that would have hurt his career too much, and he wasn't going to plead guilty to something he says he didn't do. So Relly, the guy who he is accused of shooting at, was in court yesterday testifying, and one of the main pieces of evidence was this text message conversation between Relly and A$AP Rocky, where Relly says, hey, you tried to shoot me, you tried to kill me, and A$AP Rocky was not having it. He said, look, that's not true. You're making this story up. Now, did A$AP Rocky know that this might one day be brought up in a court proceedings? I think that's very possible. But point is, he denied doing this even at the time. We'll see what the judge or the jury ultimately decides here. But again, 24 years in prison on the line.
Yeah, and I think him turning down that plea deal definitely speaks volumes here. We also see Rihanna in the courtroom supporting him. They have 2 kids together, so you think about that time that he could possibly face and what that would do to his family.
Oh, it's terrible to think about it. And obviously, look, if he did what he's accused of doing, that's awful too. I mean, to fire a gun at somebody, obviously that could have been deadly for A$AP Rocky. Yeah, absolutely, a lot on the line, and you obviously understand why Rihanna is there with him, by his side when he's going through one of the most consequential moments of his entire life.
Yeah. Do we think this will be a lengthy trial? Are we looking at this going into next week, or do you think this will be something that wraps up fairly quickly?
Possible. Yeah, no, I think it definitely will go into next week. Does it go beyond next week? I think that's probably unlikely, but I think you're certainly going to see this go into next week.
All right. Well, we will see what happens here. Michael, thanks so much. Be sure to watch TMZ live right here on Fox 2. That's weekdays at 3 p.m. and TMZ's other show at 7 p.m. We're reading your comments when we come back.